My name is Woody Landeros.
And I'm Joseph Landeros.
You're listening to the Landeros Brothers, where we talk about
Communication through art.
I like how it sounds all structured.
Yeah. Let's roll to the
Well,
intro.
you're supposed to say, just roll the intro.
All right.
Okay, let's do it. Today's topic is, can I bring my band too? And well, we kind of came up with this very quickly right before we went to go work out this morning.
Yep.
If you guys don't already know, we work out every day from 4:30 to around 6 o'clock, I would say.
Yeah.
4:30, or sometimes we show up at 4 and then leave at 5:30. It's usually about an hour and a half. But we had to quickly come up with a topic, and I think just this overall conversation about collaborating, about having your band with you, about pushing forward with other creative individuals, and then also some people. Well, just to kind of let you guys kind of paint a picture about why we use that is because when I was younger, a little bit younger, Joseph was very young. I would go to these gatherings, or as people would call them, parties, and I would say, "Can my brother come too?" And they would be like, "Okay, yeah, that's fine, he can come." And then, but he was so much younger than I was, so he was already growing up with people that were, older in the scene, talking about art, talking about business, talking about fashion, music, everything. So I don't think he was ever really hanging out with anybody his age. He was always hanging out with my age. So can I bring my band too, or can they come too?
Yeah.
That's the topic for today. And do you want to kind of give some? Reasoning behind why we chose
except for
that.
days like this, we don't really work out. I mean, we work out pretty consistently. As far as our time frame goes, I don't know. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
Because right now we are filming or recording this at around 5.
It is 5:52, guys.
There you go.
That is the dedication right here. I told him it is a must. We have to record this.
Yeah,
and now, officially in video format. And if you guys are listening to on streaming on Apple, and then also on Spotify, on Anchor, you guys can go check out the video version on YouTube, and that's youtube.com/Woody Landeros.
Sweet. So to get to what you're talking about with me going with you at a younger age, I think that was also a good technique in order to kind of bring myself at the level that I wanted to be at. So it's kind of like one big analogy for, say, how it is to be in a band, as the title of this podcast would imply, or how it is to be within a group. You're only as strong as your weakest link.
Yeah.
But that did influence my path in my life, I think, just by putting myself to a different standard and by expecting different things.
So you're using, I would say, broad terms. Did it influence you in a positive way or a negative way?
See, that's the thing. I don't know.
And then also, what type of different things did you experience? We could talk about it here because it's,
Yeah.
There's only a select amount of people that are going to see this.
Yeah, so say it's cool to talk about because now, as solidified in 2019, wow, that's weird. I keep on thinking 2018.
2019, baby.
So as now solidified in 2019, there are different cultures, say like skate culture and rave culture and hip hop culture, within the whole cruise scene and everything. And those are things I was raised on, but I didn't really know about it. It wasn't as collective of a thought.
In your head.
In my head.
Yeah.
It was sort of just
because it was there since forever.
Yeah. But it was just something so natural. So say a scene like the whole skate scene when I was younger. I remember you were 13 or 14, and I was only 8 years old. That was a stage or a phase, I suppose you would say, that a 13-year-old should be experiencing, but it was given to me beforehand.
Yeah.
And then I found myself going through the same phase again, and just overall being able to build up that knowledge of the subject over time, more in depth, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I would say that I was kind of born. I think I was kind of born
Boing.
a, a pessimist in some sense.
Yeah.
And by being knowledgeable about certain things, it can be kind of stressful and kind of a lot of weight on your shoulders.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's why they say ignorance is bliss.
Mm-hmm. That knowledge that brings you, to the next level. Like some people might think that the art scene in LA is a certain way, but then you go down there to these events, and a few things can happen. But one thing that could happen is your entire vision or your image of the art scene can be shattered, in like a millisecond, because you might not think it's exactly like that. Especially that we're so close to a place of Hollywood where, eventually the lights turn off, the audio turns off, the video turns off, and then that's the person there. Like, that we're just people. This is just some event. That's it. Pack it up, go home, and it's like showbiz. When you close it down, it's what's behind those curtains it's just production. Show must go on.
Yeah, when just recently I was in Laguna Beach the other day, and I was inside of a restaurant. I forgot where we were eating at, but I seen across the table a group of teenagers, probably like 16 or 17, but they were all like drenched in designer clothing, and well, it was probably like 10 o'clock at night at the time, and they're all kind of just on their way out, and I could have sworn I'd seen a couple of them like on some influencer pages and stuff like that. But what I was thinking about is, if I was born in a different area, perhaps even a year later, I could have experienced a different life. But the culture behind, say, streetwear and that collective mindset as to what is the top requires so much investment of time with, say, investing into social media, or say in money, literally. I know I've spent a lot of money with different designer goods, and it's not as fulfilling as you'd probably the industry sort of makes itself out to be.
Yeah, and also in I believe the word is retrospect.
Looking back on it,
there's also somebody in the middle of Mexico or something, or Madagascar, or even getting deeper, like in the middle of nowhere, like an island that has their hands on Instagram or Facebook, that's looking at some kid walking around in Riverside and saying, if I was born at a different year, at a different place and time, then I might just be there walking in his footsteps. So also, like, just realizing that, like, LA is so close to us. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because we feel like we have everything, but we know we don't.
Yeah.
But then you go somewhere else and you're like, dang, it's a big deal to be around this many people. Even just going down to like Yucca Valley.
Yeah.
Like, there's like no one.
Definitely.
Like,
or
they're
like
so close
somewhere
to us.
like Bakersfield or Blythe.
I mean, my goodness.
Wow, it's just dead.
And then to make like
If
a stamp
I'm sorry.
in Blythe, to be like a fashion designer in Blythe.
I'd be pretty big. I mean, you got a lot of land, man. Like, you can
do like a desert fashion show.
Yeah. But that will be present someday.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of crazy to hear anyone say, yeah, I'm repping the whatever area code it is for Blythe, because it's so hot and pretty barren.
The one thing that's apparent throughout all these locations and all these, different cultures, ethnicities, whatever it is that you do need a team. And the right team can bring you up, and the wrong team can bring you down and shatter you and destroy your career.
Yeah.
So, if somebody in Blythe did have the creative collective to push it out, then there's no reason why that person couldn't make it.
Yeah.
But as artists, I feel like a lot of the times we feel that isolation is the answer and isolation is the way to creativity. But a lot of times as a creative, once you start collaborating, you'll start realizing that it's opening up paths that you would never even imagine. And then also the fact that you start making it.
Yeah.
You start getting your name out there. Like recently I've been recording podcasts for Shut Up and Fail with Memento, which I'll put a little tab up top. And he had posted on his Instagram, and I got a few more subscribers from that. And it was just cool seeing that if I would have been all about myself, then I wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to tap into his following base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, in the beginning, like say with television interviews or say radio talk, you wouldn't really think that that would be the outcome, but now it's very like visual because you can see that they say, oh, this person follows this person, but now they follow you.
Yeah.
So they start liking your stuff, and but
Analytics are a beautiful thing.
beforehand, it was probably like, hey, how's it going? This is 94.7. We're here talking to, this artist. And then now you kind of start tracking different things. So there's like the progression of this concept.
What it is multiple sources of news.
Yeah.
Back then it was like, let me listen to the radio to see what's going on, or let me see the television to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, oh, are you getting your news? Are you getting your Firefest news from Hulu or from Netflix? Because they're two different things. And then are you getting your sports news from Sports Illustrated, or are you getting it from Twitter? So then you see there's multiple forms of news streaming services that it really just changes our perspective on a subject depending on when and how we receive that subject matter.
Yeah. Speaking about the West Coast and the East Coast and about streaming in general, some of the biggest artists birthed these different cultures, say Tupac and Notorious B.I.G., and they sort of created these cult followings, and it's like these the ground basis for what hip hop is at the moment, and people may not pay homage to them, but that's sort of what it's all about. We have people like TDE with Kendrick Lamar's group, and then on the opposite side, you have people like ASAP Mob and all those different people.
I think it's interesting how, like with rock stars, at the time it was like, this is my band, and what hip-hop did that really progressed hip-hop, I would say, is that they said, you're my band. Yeah. So like the viewer, the listener, they're able to join in the band. So like even if it was like even talking about music and like gang violence, that they would rep something, and then you would have somebody else saying like, oh, I'm a part of that crew too. And they'll start writing, they'll start rapping about it. Right. They'll start creating that, like you said, cult following, because they felt like, I have a group, I'm a part of something. So I think that played a huge part around hip hop and being able to really spread the word. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that rock did the same way, throughout its time, but hip hop, I feel like just because there's a lot of people in poverty and out in the streets that are listening to, these rappers, because that's like primarily their fan base. Yeah. They're able to say like, they might not listen to me, but Tupac understands me. Tupac understands, the way that it is, like
the struggle.
Like, yeah. Yeah. So you're able to connect to that.
Definitely. So what do you think about, say, there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there about the death of Tupac, or, the death of these people.
Like if he's dead?
Not necessarily, but...
Or how he died?
How he died, at least. Who it was all intertwined with, or who it all came down to be.
I don't know. I might piss some people off right now.
Wait, before that.
Okay. What?
So, what do you think is the... what is the epitome of like things you'll take before you say, hey, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to leave my group because I don't really trust you, or say
because of these multiple media, like you see, if you go on his video, then you have just like a back and forth conversation with like two people that have hard-headed thoughts about it. Yeah. Where like me, sometimes with certain ideas, I just think I think it's that way, but if you think it's that way, then fine. Mm-hmm. Cool, whatever.
So what's your take on
you do you? Well, I think he died on that. Yeah. Right there.
In that moment.
I don't.
Yeah, I think.
I don't know.
It's kind of a hard subject though, because it's like when you question something, it's both intriguing but disrespectful at the same time, because inherently that's just what conspiracy theories are. It kind of denies the truth of the matter and twists it. Like you always have that what if behind the back of your head, but you don't actually know, and it can hurt some people's feelings just by questioning it.
Well, like, no offense, but he wasn't like a president or anything. So like for him to have like this diabolical scheme, and like I've heard multiple theories about it, and I just feel like Like they have like photos, like obvious Photoshop files because of the metadata that he's out in like Jamaica and stuff. Like I just
Yeah.
don't get it.
That's a
But
big one, the Jamaica thing.
yeah,
Or Costa Rica or something like that. There's a
yeah.
bunch of those like that. But
I
I
think
mean, I've
after
heard.
understanding like Photoshop, like
Yeah.
I can, you know, I mean, even like Gabriel Iglesias, he went through the same thing where somebody wrote something on the news that
That
he
he
had
was dead.
died, and then everybody was messaging him like, oh, well, they were messaging him, but they were messaging his family members and saying like, I'm so sorry for your loss
Yeah.
and all this stuff. And then his friend had messaged him like, hey, are you all right, bro?
Yeah.
I heard you were dead. Like, and then he wasn't. But
Yeah.
honestly, like with social media, with Photoshop, and you know, unfortunately, fake news,
Yeah.
it just you can make something out of anything, and especially like if somebody sees an opportunity to make something like that, I
Right.
don't know.
So let's go back to what I was saying. Like, what is the furthest someone has to go before you say, like, your contributions aren't doing anything positive for the growth of my career or myself as a person?
What do you mean?
So, say, like, in some of the, what I was trying to get to with the Tupac thing was that some people thought Snoop Dogg was in on it, or some people thought that other affiliates of the record label were having to do with his demise or his death. So what I'm saying, and not as serious, but what would you say is the furthest someone has to go before you say, hey, you can't be my band anymore, and because of the fact that you're not really contributing?
I guess I don't necessarily know how it connects to Tupac because I just like I don't know. Maybe I'm not as interested as
Yeah.
most people would be. But if you're
Right.
talking about strictly like band and band members
Yeah, yeah. I'm
and
just talking about like group thinking,
why somebody would
like bring
cut
you
a person
down.
off,
Yeah.
I think that there's a level of toxicity
Uh-huh.
that a person can have towards your career, towards your relationships,
Uh-huh.
and I think it's pretty transparent when it happens,
Right.
and I think I think it has to be a personal judgment, and sometimes it might be like multiple people outside of your circle
Yeah.
that say something about it,
Right.
and then that's when you need to think about cutting it.
Yeah, I was just trying to get like a general basis as to maybe what the viewers would understand, or I mean, find a common ground with.
It's difficult because usually that person that's holding you back is either your you know your best friend, your lover,
Yeah.
or somebody that you look at as an advisor,
Yeah.
or somebody that you look at like you're mentoring.
Yeah.
But that person can also be disabling you, and you might think like, you know, I don't need them. But when you find somebody that really pushes you forward,
Yeah.
then that's going to be a moment in your life where you really know, okay, this feels good.
Yeah.
You know, anything that doesn't feel like this, I should probably stay away from.
Yeah.
Like I know that in this past year, thank the Lord for Rebecca because like I started vlogging. Like all this stuff, like me being in front of the camera would not be existent if Rebecca wasn't in my life. So like that positivity that made me actually make videos throughout the year and be confident enough to go in front of the camera
Yeah.
was given by positive energy from Rebecca.
Right.
And then there was another person that I won't name his name, but he was pretty much telling me that, you know, work, like just back work is the answer. Just stay safe and it'll get better.
Yeah.
If that would have been the case, it wouldn't.
You would
I don't see
satisfied.
any sort of fulfillment, any
Yeah.
satisfaction. I would honestly be in the same place that he is right now,
Yeah.
which is the same place that we were at, just not doing anything with our lives.
Like running in place.
hmm
Yeah.
If it's not growth, it's
Dead.
It's death.
Yeah. Well, say I don't know why I had like this instant thought when you were talking about the scheme of things, like with say your growth this past like year or so. But I was thinking about the scenes in which take place in The Wolf of Wall Street, where you can kind of see everything slowly starting to get really bad, and it kind of starts where he starts selling the penny stocks, and then when he's with Donnie, I believe his name is, and he
The
goes in the
Lollipop Club.
back and the house and stuff, and they're like, "Let's run like tigers," you know. Although like that's very apparent that he has bad people around his life, but it can be so easy for you to just flip and
Yeah.
get yourself caught up in a whirlpool of things.
Yeah.
And just by having bad people around you. But also another thing that I was,
And I would say that has happened to me.
yeah,
Being around some people that all they want to do is just party and forget about life.
be like numb. Yeah.
And for a fact like that they're envious of a relationship and of a stable lifestyle.
Yeah.
But they're not going to admit that to you.
Right.
So
Yeah. This is really serious
yeah,
because that is
it's the reality of things.
the philosophy.
It's honestly the reality of things. Like I have some friends that go out, like not just because it's okay to go out or whatever and have a good time with your friends,
Yeah.
but going out as like a prescription to your sadness is very obvious in some of my friends, and I can see that they're very unhappy, and it's almost like anytime they get closer to like a real true stabilization in their life, they run further and they party harder.
Yeah.
And they buy more things and do more
Just
reckless
habits.
things. And honestly, like I feel like I've been stuck in that whirlpool
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So I like know where it comes from. Like I know seeing like relationships and you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, whatever. I'm just gonna go out tonight and I don't even care. I don't care.
It's hard to not care.
Yeah.
I mean, not to care about them too, is what I'm trying to say. Like you go on with your everyday life and you forget that that is a reality, and hopefully they'll come out of that. But I mean, I know a lot of people that have done some pretty bad things and have had to pay the consequences, or maybe they haven't paid the consequences and they're still, going through it. But
I hear it's like I feel like it's like an aggressive rhythm playing the drums. You know what I mean? Like it's very loud and very just easy to continue that like just in the brain, just like go
Yeah.
go, and like when it stops, like they feel like that's the world of like being unfulfilled. But you'll just run yourself crazy.
yeah.
You really will.
Lil Wayne, he had an interview with, I forgot who it was, but it was in a video in which he was saying how they said, what do you happen to do? Kind of the similar question. How do you feel like if someone's slacking in your group or whatever it may be, and someone wants to live a different type of life, and how do you tell them, hey, I gotta stop hanging out with you? And he said they'll go, like all the good ones stay, and the rest just dissipate into like the distance because they know that they don't belong there. So in the same case, I believe in that as well, because we found ourselves in this position now. Let's say with my career in boxing, I've been able to gather a group of people that can work with me and aside me to help me. But altogether, it's just this this group, trying to achieve excellence. But you definitely can see over time that if people don't really want the best for you, you can't make them, and they just go on with the rest of their life.
So repeat those words from Lil Wayne, because I think that's my favorite quote right now.
See, the thing is, that might have been the favorite quote from me reinterpreting it,
Okay.
but I'd have to send you the link.
Well, what is it? Like, say it again, because I feel like we need to digest that for a second.
So what he was saying was that there's no way that he can let them go because they let themselves leave. They let them. They walk.
I think you said it better the first time.
Yeah. Well, I was just trying to break it down to the essence.
Yeah, but just that thought or that feeling, knowing like when you're trying to let somebody go, whatever it is, like it's not even like if you do you, then if they don't feel like if they're a part of that, then they'll leave. Mm-hmm. Like that's what they'll do naturally.
The feeling of belonging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Well, we've had our past experience with Till 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And with our ventures into music.
And if you guys don't know what Till 4 a.m. is, it was a music group that we both started. Till 4 a.m. was something, well, the thought or the name of it came about when we were working on music and hanging out and doing, I was making films. Till 4 a.m. I was editing. He was editing the music. So we realized whatever you're doing till 4 a.m. is what you should be doing for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So
That
we
was
started
crazy 6 months.
Yeah, it was
Like
it was
6
wild.
to 9 months.
We formed together a collective group of creatives,
Yeah.
and we just started making music. We didn't care about pricing. We didn't care about anything. We just had dope equipment. We found
Yeah.
dope people, and we made dope content. And that's what we did for like 6 months.
Yeah.
And then, some things went left.
Yeah.
It went right. The
Yeah.
boat started to rock. Water started to go in, and the whole thing flipped, and it stopped. Because I would say that maybe the group wasn't. I don't even know, honestly. Sometimes I go back and I think, like, it was so good. Why did it stop?
Yeah. I think there are some like minor imperfections in the bonding aspects, and we shouldn't have just got straight to making music.
Yeah.
Like in a life sense, we should have figured out each other's voices. Maybe not for singing or whatever. Maybe that's one thing.
Yeah.
Like stylistically, but I mean our voice as say humans and about just what we want to achieve. But we did spend a lot of time with them, and there was a lot of bonding going on. I don't know.
It was kind of
weird.
a heartbreak for me,
Yeah.
personally, being a part of that music group, because I believed in every single one of them, and then I felt like I put in the resources, and it was supposed to be resources, and then along with talent, and then nothing happened. So I just felt like somebody else out there like would love to use this studio equipment.
Yeah.
So I also got a little bit frustrated because I wanted something to come out of it, because I believed in them so much. Like I knew for a fact, like you are talented, you are talented, you are talented, and for like the level of dedication and like commitment, it just wasn't. It wasn't, because I have a lot of like, I have high expectations for my own self. So when somebody else comes in, like I feel like either you're with it or get out of my way, because I'm on my way somewhere.
Yeah. I think that was a good experiment, though, if we want to call it that.
Oh, I would do it all over again.
Yeah.
It was a great time.
It's the craziest thing, and not that crazy actually, but
What's the craziest thing?
not the craziest thing. I found myself saying certain phrases consistently, but
Yeah, mine is super.
very.
I'm like
or
very
really like
I really like this.
really.
I usually say really, or I'll say I'm super tired. Super tired. Super.
What I was gonna say before I interrupted my own thought was that was a beginning process of facilitating roles. So say you had to be the leader, I had to be the leader, whoever it was like we were trying to pass over the hot potato, or pass the mic
Yeah.
to just collect people together, because
It was tough.
yeah, some people didn't
was
want to
tough.
listen, or it
Yeah.
was like a different mindsets and different goals,
Yeah.
or people didn't like each other for whatever unknown reason.
Guys, we're actually going a bit over time, so
What time is it?
we're gonna close it down.
All right.
I'm gonna have to close it down. We'll continue this talk a little bit in the next one.
Yeah.
We're gonna be having great topics. But until next time, guys, I'm sorry I cut you off,
It's all good.
but the recorder's gonna stop,
Soon.
and
Catch you guys later.